Shri Advaita Radhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo.
Haribo.
Jai.
Jai.
I am so tired. I can't believe it. But I think I'll get more energized as we continue on. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Haribo. Nice. You want to chant a little bit? I don't think we can chant together very well because of the time differences with the connections. But do you feel like you chant a little bit? Hare Krishna mantra?
You mean with music?
Yeah. Or do you want to chant a little japa together for a few minutes?
Yes. Unless.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, that's good.
Unless you guide them with the music, but you said you it is not so well the sound right together. Maybe that.
Maybe like just a round or something like that. And get Krishna's mercy like that for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Kitai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare
Rama
Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Rama,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Rama Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Ram,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama, Rama Rama
Ram,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Rama,
Hare Ram, Ram
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama,
Ram,
Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Ram Hare
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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare
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 Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama Rama,
Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Hare
Rama, Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama,
Ram
Rama
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Rama Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
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 Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram, Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Jai, Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama. Jai.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama. What's going on? I don't know.
Oh God, I'm sorry. Oh Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
I don't know either. I just I'm trying to chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh,
Hare Krishna, Hare
oh,
Krishna,
please.
Krishna Krishna, Rama, Rama, Rama.
Come back here. Hello. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Ah. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Whoa, Haribol, Haribol, Haribol.
Haribol. It is late for you. It is hard for you now, I think.
I chant very slowly. It's pathetic. I've tried speeding up, but I'm like really slow. I just chant Hare Krishna, very slow.
That's great.
Yeah. So,
slow or fast, whatever.
20 minutes around, you know.
Yeah, it took me that also sometimes.
Huh.
Yes.
All right. That took a little time, but it was good to chant. It was good. It was good, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Where were we in the Bhagavatam? Was it?
I wrote this book, but if you can put something in your screen that we both could follow, might be better.
Oh, that's an idea. Yeah. Yeah, let me see if we can do that. We might be able to.
Yes.
No. I don't think it can be done. You have the book there?
Yes, I have it here.
All right, let's just do it that way. I don't think I can, because when I can try to figure it out later, But the only thing I know to do now is it's either the screen shows just that and nothing else, like those pictures. It wouldn't show anything else. But there may be a way to split it up, but I don't know how to do it right now. I'll try to figure it out.
Yes, I was trying here also, trying some buttons here, but I don't think it does much. Probably only disappears my picture, look like. Yes.
Yeah, that shows nothing, actually. It doesn't show anything. That just shows like a red screen, just red. That didn't show.
Yeah. Oh, well, doesn't matter. I can read it.
Yeah.
There
We'll work on it. We'll work on it because that's a very good idea. That's an excellent idea. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll figure it out. If Krishna lets us. Yeah. Okay. Were you right at the very beginning of this, or had you already started it a little bit, or where should we start?
We're gonna start it again. I was in text 3 and 4, but it is just
that's just a few verses. Yeah. So it's chapter 13. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
We can start text 1. It's only 2 pages.
Okay.
If you want.
Okay.
You have your book there also?
Yeah, it's on the screen here. I wish I could show it, but I don't know how to do it just yet. We'll figure it out.
Okay. Hope this version is accurate. Same that the book you have. You start. Who should?
Okay. We do the invocation with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And we take turns. I can start. Let's just do the English. I'm not so proficient in the Sanskrit, and I would just be stumbling all over the place. So we'll just do the translations.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yes. Good for you.
All right. Yeah, okay. I mean, if you feel confident about a verse, some of them are very familiar, and because you've heard them before, but most of them it's new and you just stumble on it. So
it is hard for me.
Yeah. Text 1.
Okay.
Sri Sutta Goswami said, while traveling on a pilgrimage, Vidura received knowledge of the destination of the self from the great sage Maitreya, and then returned to Hastinapur. He became as well versed in the subject as he desired. Report. It's gone off the page here. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. Vidura, one of the prominent figures in the history of the Mahabharata. He was conceived by Vyasadeva in the womb of the maidservant There's some text missing here. Let me go get my book. Sometimes they didn't.
No,
I have a book. I'm going to get my book too.
Okay.
So we'll just have books.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay, here we go. Vidura, one of the prominent figures in the history of the Mahabharata. He was conceived by Vyasadeva in the womb of the maidservant Ambika, mother of Mahārāja Pandu. He is the incarnation of Yamaraj. Being cursed by Manduka Muni, he was to become a Sudra. The story is narrated as follows. Once upon a time, the state police caught some thieves who had concealed themselves in the hermitage of Manduka Muni. The police constables, as usual, arrested all the thieves, and Manduka Muni along with them. The magistrate specifically punished the Muni to death by being pierced with a lance. When he was just to be pierced, the news reached the king, and he at once stopped the act on consideration of his being a great Muni. The king personally begged the Muni's pardon for the mistake of his men, and the saint at once went to Yamaraj, who prescribes the destiny of the living beings. Yamaraj, being questioned by the Muni, replied that the Muni in his childhood pierced an ant with a sharpened straw, and for that reason he was put into difficulty. The Muni thought it unwise on the part of Yamaraj that he was punished for his childhood innocence, and thus the Muni cursed Yamaraj to become a Sudra. And this Sudra incarnation of Yamaraj was known as Vidura, the Sudra brother of Yudhiṣṭhira and Mahārāja Pandu. But this Sudra son of the Kuru dynasty was equally treated by Bhismadeva, along with his other nephews, and in due course, Vidura was married with a girl who was also born in the womb of a Sudrani by a Brahmin. Although Vidura did not inherit the property of his father, the brother of Bhismadeva, still he was given sufficient state property by Dhritarashtra, the elder brother of Vidura. Vidura was very much attached to his elder brother, and all along he tried to guide him on the right path. During the fratricidal war of Kurukshetra, Vidura repeatedly implored his elder brother to do justice to the sons of Pandu. But Duryodhana did not like such interference by his uncle, and thus he practically insulted Vidura. This resulted in Vidura's leaving home for pilgrimage and taking instructions from Maitreya. You want to read something?
Yeah.
All right. There's any question on that? About?
No. I was just processing the information. Text 2. Translation. After asking various questions and becoming established in the transcendental loving service of the Lord Krishna, Vidura retired from putting questions to Maitreya Muni. Purport. Vidura retired from putting questions before Maitreya Muni when he was convinced by Maitreya Rishi that the summum bonum of life is to be finally situated in the transcendental loving service of Lord Sri Krishna, who is Govinda, or one who satisfies his devotees in all respects. The conditioned soul, the living being in material existence, seeks happiness by employing his senses in the modes of materialism, but that cannot give him satisfaction. He then searches after the supreme truth by the empiric philosophic speculative method and intellectual feats. But if he does not find the ultimate goal, he again goes down to material activities and engages himself in various philanthropic and altruistic works, which all failed to give him satisfaction. So neither fruitive activities nor dry philosophical speculation can give one satisfaction, because by nature a living being is the eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, and all the Vedic literatures give him direction toward that ultimate end. The Bhagavad Gita confirms this statement. Like Vidura, an inquisitive conditioned soul must approach a bona fide spiritual master like Maitreya, and by intelligent inquiries, must try to know everything about karma, fruitive activities, jnana, philosophical research for the supreme truth, and yoga, the linking process of spiritual realization. One who is not seriously inclined to put questions before a spiritual master need not accommodate a show-bottle spiritual master, nor should a person who may be a spiritual master for others pose to be so if he is unable to engage his disciples ultimately in the transcendental loving service of Lord Sri Krishna. Vidura was successful in approaching such a spiritual master like Maitreya, and he got the ultimate goal of life, bhakti, unto Govinda. Thus, there was nothing to be known further about spiritual progress.
Good. Text 3 and 4.
You want to read?
I can, yeah. It's a long one. We can split it up.
Okay. Oh,
yeah. When they saw Vidura return to the palace, all the inhabitants, Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, his younger brothers, Dhritarashtra, Satyaki, Sanjaya, Kripacharya, Kunti, Gandhari, Draupadi, Subhadra, Uttara, Kripi, many other wives of the Kauravas, and other ladies with children, all hurried to him in great delight. It so appeared that they had regained their consciousness after a long period. Purport. Gandhari, the ideal chaste lady in the history of the world. She was the daughter of Mahārāja Subala, the king of Gandhar, now Kandahar, in Kabul. And in her maiden state, she worshipped Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is generally worshipped by Hindu maidens to get a good husband. Gandhari satisfied Lord Shiva, and by his benediction to obtain 100 sons, she was betrothed to Dhritarashtra, despite his being blind forever. When Gandhari came to know that her would-be husband was a blind man, to follow her life companion, she decided to become voluntarily blind. So she wrapped up her eyes with many silk linens, and she was married to Dhritarashtra under the guidance of her elder brother, Sakuni. She was the most beautiful girl of her time, and she was equally qualified by her womanly qualities, which endeared every member of the Kaurava court. But despite all her good qualities, she had the natural frailties of a woman, and she was envious of Kunti when the latter gave birth to a male child. But both the queens were pregnant, but Kunti first gave birth to a male child. Thus Gandhari became angry and gave a blow to her own abdomen. As a result, she gave birth to a lump of flesh only. But since she was a devotee of Vyasadeva, by the instructions of Vyasadeva, the lump was divided into 100 parts, and each part gradually developed to become a male child. Thus, her ambition to become the mother of 100 sons was fulfilled, and she began to nourish all the children according to her exalted position. When the intrigue of the battle of Kurukshetra was going on, she was not in favor of fighting with the Pandavas. Rather, she blamed Dhritarashtra, her husband, for such a fratricidal war. She desired that the state be divided into two parts, for the sons of Pandu and her own. She was very affected when all her sons died in the battle of Kurukshetra. She wanted to curse Bhimasena and Yudhiṣṭhira, but she was checked by Vyasadeva. Her mourning over the death of Duryodhana and Dushasana before Lord Krishna was very pitiful, and Lord Krishna pacified her by transcendental messages. She was equally aggrieved on the death of Karna, and she described to Lord Krishna the lamentation of Karna's wife. She was pacified by Srila Vyasadeva when he showed her dead sons, then promoted to the heavenly kingdoms. She died along with her husband in the jungles of the Himalayas near the mouth of the Ganges. She burned in a forest fire. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira performed the death ceremony of his uncle and aunt. Pritha, daughter of Mahārāja Shurasena and sister of Vasudeva, Lord Krishna's father. Later, she was adopted by Mahārāja Kunti, and hence she became known as Kunti. She is the incarnation of the success potency of the personality of Godhead. The heavenly denizens from the upper planets used to visit the palace of King Kunti, and Kunti was engaged for their reception. She also served the great mystic Durvasa, and being satisfied by her faithful service, Durvasa Muni gave her a mantra by which it was possible for her to call for any demigod she pleased. As a matter of inquisitiveness, she at once called for the sun god, who desired couplement with her, but she declined. But the sun god assured her immunity from virgin adulteration, and so she agreed to his proposal. As a result of this couplement, she became pregnant, and Karna was born by her. By the grace of the sun, she again turned into a virgin girl, but being afraid of her parents, she quitted the newly born child. Karna, after that, when she actually selected her own husband, she preferred Pandu to be her husband. Mahārāja Pandu later wanted to retire from family life and adopt the renounced order of life. Kunti refused to allow her husband to adopt such life, but at last Mahārāja Pandu gave her permission to become a mother of sons by calling some other suitable personalities. Kunti did not accept his proposal at first, but when vivid examples were set by Pandu, she agreed. Thus, by dint of the mantra awarded by Durvasa Muni, she called for Dharmaraj, and thus Yudhiṣṭhira was born. She called for the demigod Vayu, air, and thus Bhima was born. She called for Indra, the king of heaven, and thus Arjuna was born. The other two sons, namely Nakula and Sahadeva, were begotten by Pandu himself in the womb of Madri. Later on, Mahārāja Pandu died at an early age, for which Kunti was so aggrieved that she fainted. The two co-wives, namely Kunti and Madri, decided that Kunti should live for the maintenance of the 5 minor children, the Pandavas, and Madri should accept the sati ritual by meeting voluntary death along with her husband. This agreement was endorsed by great sages like Shadashinga and others present on the occasion. It's said that the demigods would visit this planet. They don't come lately because it's not so nice here now, but they would come very often and visit. And of course, Krishna is actually present at this time, so the demigods are very interested in what's going on. These things are all explained pretty elaborately in the Mahabharata, how this all went on. It's one of the more very, very beautiful, the Mahabharata. I'll have to read it sometime.
I will. I have the book now.
So exciting. It's wonderful.
Yes. You want me to continue reading?
Yeah. Would you? Yeah, that's good.
I think we are in the half. Okay. Later on, when the Pandavas were banished from the kingdom by the intrigues of Duryodhana, Kunti followed her sons, and she equally faced all sorts of difficulties during those days. During the forest life, one demon girl, Hidimba, wanted Bhima as her husband. Bhima refused, but when the girl approached Kunti and Yudhiṣṭhira, they ordered Bhima to accept her proposal and give her a son. As a result of this combination, Ghatotkacha was born, and he fought very valiantly with his father against the Kauravas. In their forest life, they lived with a Brahmana family that was in trouble because of one Bakasura demon, and Kunti ordered Bhima to kill the Bakasura to protect the Brahmana family against troubles created by the demon. She advised Yudhiṣṭhira to start for the Panchaladesha. Draupadi was gained in this Panchaladesha by Arjuna, but by order of Kunti, all 5 of the Pandava brothers became equally the husband of Panchali, or Draupadi. She was married with 5 Pandavas in the presence of Vyasadeva. Kunti Devi never forgot her first child, Karna, and after Karna's death in the Battle of Kurukshetra, she lamented and admitted before her other sons that Karna was her eldest son prior to her marriage with Mahārāja Pandu. Her prayers for the Lord after the Battle of Kurukshetra, when Lord Krishna was going back home, are excellently explained. Later, she went to the forest with Gandhari for severe penance. She used to take meals after each 30 days. She finally sat down in profound meditation and later burned to ashes in a forest fire. Draupadi, the most chaste daughter of Maharaja Drupada, and partly an incarnation of goddess Shachi, the wife of Indra. Maharaja Draupadi performed a great sacrifice under the superintendence of the sage Yaja. By his first offering, Drishtadyumna was born, and by the second offering, Draupadi was born. She is therefore the sister of Drishtadyumna, and she is also named Panchali. The 5 Pandavas married her as a common wife, and each of them begot a son in her. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira begot a son named Pratibhit. Bhimasena begot a son named Sutasoma. Arjuna begot Shrutakirti. Nakula begot Shatanika. And Sahadeva begot Shrutakarma. She is described as a most beautiful lady, equal to her mother-in-law, Kunti. During her birth, there was an aeromessage that she should be called Krishna. The same message also declared that she was born to kill many a Kshatriya. By dint of her blessings from Shankara, she was awarded 5 husbands, equally qualified. When she preferred to select her own husband, princes and kings were invited from all the countries of the world. She was married with the Pandavas during their exile in the forest, but when they went back home, Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira gave them immense wealth as a dowry. She was well received by all the daughters-in-law of Dhritarashtra. When she was lost in a gambling game, she was forcibly dragged into the assembly hall, and an attempt was made by Dushasana to see her naked beauty, even though there were elderly persons like Bhishma and Drona present. She was a great devotee of Lord Krishna, and by her praying, the Lord himself became an unlimited garment to save her from the insult. A demon of the name kidnapped her, but her second husband, Bhimasena, killed the demon and saved her. She saved the Pandavas from the curse of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira by the grace of Lord Krishna. When the Pandavas lived incognito in the palace of Virata, Kikaka was attracted by her exquisite beauty, and by arrangement with Bhima, the devil was killed and she was saved. She was very much aggrieved when her 5 sons were killed by Ashvathama. At the last stage, she accompanied her husband Yudhiṣṭhira and others until on the way. The cause of her falling was explained by Yudhiṣṭhira, but when Yudhiṣṭhira entered the heavenly planet, he saw Draupadi gloriously present there as the goddess of fortune in the heavenly planet. Subhadra, daughter of Vasudeva and sister of Lord Sri Krishna, she was not only a very dear daughter of Vasudeva, but also a very dear sister to both Krishna and Baladeva. The two brothers and sisters are represented in the famous Jagannatha temple of Puri, and the temple is still visited by thousands of pilgrims daily. This temple is in remembrance of the Lord's visit at Kurukshetra during an occasion of solar eclipse and his subsequent meeting with the residents of Vrindavana. The meeting of Radha and Krishna during this occasion is a very pathetic story, and Lord Sri Chaitanya, in the ecstasy of Radharani, always paint for Lord Sri Krishna at Jagannatha Puri. While Arjuna was at Dwaraka, he wanted to have Subhadra as his queen, and he expressed his desire to Lord Krishna. Sri Krishna knew that his elder brother, Lord Baladeva, was arranging her marriage elsewhere, and since he did not dare to go against the arrangement of Baladeva, he advised Arjuna to kidnap Subhadra. So when all of them were on a pleasure trip on the Raivat hill, Arjuna managed to kidnap Subhadra according to the plan of Sri Krishna. Sri Baladeva was very angry at Arjuna and he wanted to kill him, but Lord Krishna implored his brother to excuse Arjuna. Then Subhadra was duly married with Arjuna, and Abhimanyu was born of Subhadra. At the premature death of Abhimanyu, Subhadra was very mortified, but on the birth of Parikshit, she was happy and solaced.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So sometimes we think, you know, oh, I have so many difficulties.
Yeah.
But just listen, these are pure devotees, what they're going through. My goodness.
Yes. Yes, of course.
Mm.
It is always so, well, so good for many reasons to read it.
Mm.
So
It was very dynamic. So much going on. It's beautiful.
Yes, a lot. Yes.
Text 5. With great delight, they all approached him. This is Vidura coming back now. They're greeting him. With great delight, they all approached him, as if life had returned to their bodies. They exchanged obeisances and welcomed each other with embraces. Purport. In the absence of consciousness, the limbs of the body remain inactive. But when consciousness returns, the limbs and senses become active, and existence itself becomes delightful. Vidura was so dear to the members of the Kaurava family that his long absence from the palace was comparable to inactivity. All of them were feeling acute separation from Vidura, and therefore his return to the palace was joyful for all. Text 6. Due to anxieties and long separation, they all cried out of affection. King Yudhiṣṭhira thus arranged to offer sitting accommodations and a reception. Text 7. After Vidura ate sumptuously and took sufficient rest, he was comfortably seated. Then the king began to speak to him, and all who were present there listened. Purport. King Yudhiṣṭhira was expert in reception also, even in the case of his family members. Vidura was well received by all the family members by exchange of embraces and obeisances. After that, bathing and arrangements for a sumptuous dinner were made, and then he was given sufficient rest. After finishing his rest, he was offered a comfortable place to sit, and then the king began to talk about all happenings, both family and otherwise. That is the proper way to receive a beloved friend, or even an enemy. According to Indian moral codes, even an enemy received at home should be so well received that he will not feel any fearful situation. An enemy is always afraid of his enemy, but he should not be so when he is received at home by his enemy. This means that a person, when received at home, should be treated as a relative. So what to speak of a family member like Vidura, who was a well-wisher for all the members of the family? Thus, Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj began to speak in the presence of all the other members. This is the old culture before the battle of Kurukshetra. It's the old culture, or this may be this is after the battle of Kurukshetra, but it's still the old culture. The Kali Yuga hadn't arrived quite yet, and their dealings are just so they're so wonderful to hear about how people actually lived and conducted themselves, as civilized human beings.
Yes.
So nice, the culture.
Yes.
It's recorded. It's all recorded in the Bhagavatam. This is how they treated each other. This is the way they behaved.
You want me to read the next?
Yeah, we can. It's getting toward 11, but let's maybe do this one more verse, and then what do you think?
Oh, wow. The time flew. Wow. Wow. Okay.
We'll do one more verse and then.
You tell me. It is late for you.
I'm
tell
okay.
me.
I'm okay. I'm not. I took a nap. It's so hot here. It makes me tired, but I'm okay.
Yes, it is hot here too.
I'm okay with it. Are you okay with it? It's probably going to run
am.
like another 20 minutes or something. You're all
I
right?
thought it was like, like 10:20 for you, 7:20 for me. Wow. I will read it.
Okay.
Okay, it is text 8, translation. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira said, "My uncle, do you remember how you always protected us, along with our mother, from all sorts of calamities? Your partiality, like the wings of a bird, saved us from poisoning and arson." Purport. Due to Pandu's death at an early age, his minor children and widow were the object of special care by all the elderly members of the family, especially Bhishmadeva and Mahatma Vidura. Vidura was more or less partial to the Pandavas due to their political position, although Dhritarashtra was equally careful for the minor children of Maharaja Pandu. He was one of the intriguing parties who wanted to wash away the descendants of Pandu and replace them by raising his own sons to become the rulers of the kingdom. Mahatma Vidura could follow this intrigue of Dhritarashtra and company, and therefore, even though he was a faithful servitor of his eldest brother, Dhritarashtra, he did not like his political ambition for the sake of his own sons. He was therefore very careful about the protection of the Pandavas and their widowed mother. Thus he was, so to speak, partial to the Pandavas, preferring them to the sons of Dhritarashtra, although both of them were equally affectionate in his ordinary eyes. He was equally affectionate to both the camps of nephews in the sense that he always justiced Duryodhana for his intriguing policy against the cousins. He always criticized his elder brother for his policy of encouragement to his sons, and at the same time he was always alert in giving special protection to the Pandavas. All these different activities of Vidura within the place politics made him well known as partial to the Pandavas. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira has referred to the past history of Vidura before his going away from home for a prolonged pilgrim's journey. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira reminded him that he was equally kind and partial to his grown-up nephews, even after the Battle of Kurukshetra, a great family disaster. Before the Battle of Kurukshetra, Dhritarashtra's policy was peaceful annihilation of his nephews, and therefore he ordered Purochana to build a house at Varanavata, and when the building was finished, Dhritarashtra desired that his brother's family live there for some time. When the Pandavas were going there in the presence of all the members of the royal family, Vidura tactfully gave instructions to the Pandavas about the future plan of Dhritarashtra. This is especially described in the Mahabharata, Adiparva 114. He indirectly hinted a weapon not made of steel or any other material element can be more than sharp to kill an enemy, and he who knows this is never killed. That is to say, he hinted that the party of the Pandavas was being sent to Varanavata to be killed, and thus he warned Yudhiṣṭhira to be very careful in their new residential palace. He also gave indications of fire and said that fire cannot extinguish the soul, but can annihilate the material body. But one who protects the soul can live. Kunti could not follow such indirect conversation between Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira and Vidura, and thus, when she inquired from her son about the purport of the conversation, Yudhiṣṭhira replied that from the talks of Vidura, it was understood that there was a hint of fire in the house where they were proceeding. Later on, Vidura came in disguise to the Pandavas and informed them that the housekeeper was going to set fire to the house on the 14th night of the waning moon. It was an intrigue of Dhritarashtra that the Pandavas might die altogether with their mother, and by his warning the Pandavas escaped through a tunnel underneath the earth, so that their escape was also unknown to Dhritarashtra, so much so that after setting the fire, the Kauravas were so certain of the death of the Pandavas that Dhritarashtra performed their last rites of death with great cheerfulness. And during the mourning period, all the members of the palace became overwhelmed with lamentation. But Vidura did not become so because of his knowledge that the Pandavas were alive somewhere. There are many such instances of calamities, and in each of them, Vidura gave protection to the Pandavas on one hand, and on the other hand tried to restrain his brother Dhritarashtra from such intriguing policies. Therefore, he was always partial to the Pandavas, just as a bird protects its eggs by its wings. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Nice. Hare Krishna.
Very, very nice.
Jai Shri. It's good. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
So what should we do? I think I'm going to stop the broadcasting, and then we can just, so it's